Pirate Eye was dug up by Robin, Chapter 481-500. Chapter 481 Redhead. These two are Gorose, 5 elders open black lens bracket 1/4 for subscription close black lens bracket. New World, Universal Topland. The base camp of the 4 Emperors Lot Linlin. At this moment, when the news reports of the Waesung event arrived one after another, 35 islands centered on Cake Island are in chaos. How could such a thing happen? The invincible mother was defeated. Not just Mom, even that. Kaido of the Beasts is dead. That. How powerful is the hero? Is he a god? Someone sighed. Mom and ministers, can they come back alive? Some people are worried. If Mom and the others don't come back, will we, who lost the protection of the 4 emperors, will be invaded by other pirates? Someone is desperate. Shut up, you idiot. Mom, why can't they come back? That's right, the news only clearly reported the death of Kaido of the Beasts, and the mother was just beaten, and it's unknown if she's alive or dead. Yeah, and even if my mother isn't here now, there is still Katakuri-sama in the country. If Katakuri-sama is there, it's absolutely fine. On the 34 food islands within the Kingdom of the World, there was a lot of people talking. The Cake Island, which is located in the center of the world, people are shocked, and the clamor and uproar of panic are also surging into the sky. At this moment, Cake Island's central Cake Castle Hall. The thieves, ministers and cadres who were responsible for staying behind in all countries gathered together. The leader is the second in command of the thief, the undefeated Superman that the Charlotte family is proud of. The head of the General Star, Charlotte Katakuri. This expedition to Wachung. The 4 Emperors and 100 Beasts pirates dispatched Captain Kaido, the 2 major disasters, the 6 sons of Linkong, and the powerful real fights. Except for the barbarians who were out on the mission, the elites of the 100 Beasts pirates almost came out of the nest. Stay in Wano Kuni and are responsible for guarding the home, the highest level is the real fight. Beast pirates dared to do this, except for the natural danger of Wano Kuni. And collaborator Kurozumi Orochi's Samurai Corps. Even if the beasts are not there, the warriors of Wano Kuni can resist the invaders. In comparison, who have neither the geographical advantage nor the collaborators can't rush out like the beasts. When the family's ministers and combat cadres go on a large-scale expedition, they naturally need to leave a strong force to be responsible for guarding the family. The only one who is qualified to guard one side is the strongest of the family, Katakuri. Coupled with the equally strong General Cracker's Biscuit Army to assist the thieves on the front line, they can go out without worries and go out boldly. Just that no one in the commander expected it. The base camp behind them was safe and sound, and there were no changes or mistakes. On the contrary, there was bad news from the frontline expedition army led by my mother. When the detailed report of the Waesung incident came, it was known to the thieves, remaining ministers and cadres. The entire Cake Hall fell into a dead silence. The silence only lasted for a short while. Next second, the ministers and cadres of the Cake Hall, like the ordinary people outside, couldn't help but scream in shock. Mom was defeated. How could such a thing happen? Mom's body of steel has never been broken. It's a myth. How could it be easily cut open by someone? I don't believe it. This is absolutely fake news. That's the invincible alliance of our mother and the Kaido of the Beasts. The ministers and cadres in the hall shouted in shock. Stop arguing, just shut up with me. The rough-looking biscuit man suddenly stopped drinking Star Cracker. Ling's noisy Cake Hall suddenly fell silent. After a while, Brother Katakuri, what shall we do next? Charlotte's 35 daughter Pudding looked at Katakuri with teary eyes. Brother Katakuri. The other siblings also turned their attention to Katakuri. Now that the 4 Emperors North has lost contact, Katakuri is their backbone. Mom isn't dead yet. Under the collective gaze of his younger siblings, Katakuri, who had remained silent, finally spoke up. Just wait. An uninhabited island in the New World. The red-colored pirate ship Redford was quietly moored on the shore. The crew of the 4 Emperor's red-haired pirates worked together to repair the deck that was penetrated by Admiral Kizaru's laser. On the sandy shore not far away. Taking advantage of the time between ship repairs, a banquet can be held anytime and anywhere. 2 hours later. The joyous banquet turned into a shocking meeting due to the constant arrival of news reports. "Boss, this is really amazing. That Hawkeye, who is on a par with the leader, was defeated in the most proud swordsmanship. The world's largest swordsman has changed hands. That's amazing. That hero, he defeated Kaido's alliance by himself. This is really the biggest event of this era. It's a pity we couldn't be there to witness it with our own eyes. I really envy Lu and Bu. I knew I had signed up." The red-haired people were all startled and shouted strangely. Speaking of which, the 4 emperors of the New World are really going to become double emperors. That crazy ant doesn't know, but that guy Kaido is really dead, the kind of death that is completely dead, even the fruit power is attributed to others. Blackbeard. It's the one from the Whitebeards. Blackbeard teach. He's a freak as the boss said. Shanks, what happened to Teach's body? How did he take Kaido's dragon fruit and how did it carry 2 fruits at the same time? The red cadres looked at the 4 emperors with red hair, hoping to learn the secret from his mouth. It's just that, the crew members' inquiries, the red hair is completely unheard of. With a look of great interest, he looked at the mysterious powerhouse page of the newspaper. Shanks, do you know the identities of the 2 mysterious powerhouses who appeared last? Ben Beckman, the first think tank of the sea, asked. Ahahaha. The 4 emperors' red-haired Shanks smiled, raised his hand and pointed at the blurred photo of the newspaper. These 2 people are Gorosei, 5 elders. Thanks to the boss of Wu Zhanzhao for the reward. Thanks to the boss of Wu Jian School for the reward. Summer reading every day is fun, charge 100 and get 500 coupons. : Immediate top-up event time, August 7th to August 9th. Chapter 482 Whitebeard. Damn, I really don't want to see you again. 2 quarters for subscription. New World, an island within the territory of the 4 Emperors. Whitebeard. Same as the Red Falls of the Red Hair Pirates. Whitebeard Pirates, the whale ship Moby Dick, which was also penetrated by Admiral Kizaru's laser attack, is also under repair. Dad, the big event is over. The captain of the 3rd Division, Jozu Diamond, walked out of the cabin, with a face full of shock and solemnity, reporting to Whitebeard on the deck. Kula la la la, it didn't even take half a day, it was much faster than I expected. The 4 Emperors. Whitebeard laughed. If it's just a hero, the alliance between Linlin and Kaido might really be able to achieve some results, but this time the bastard from Garp is also there. 2v22, they can take less than half a point. No, Dad. Diamond Jozu took a deep breath, suppressed the vibration in his heart, and slowly shook his head. The expression on Whitebeard's face stopped. Isn't it wrong to not predict Papa Jozu? Team 5 Captain Vista asked. It's not 2-on-2, but 1-on-2. Jozu sighed in shock. 1-to-2. Jozu, what do you mean? Could it be? Whitebeard pirates on the deck were all subconsciously surprised. Even Whitebeard, the expression on the old face gradually changed subtly. I don't know the specifics, but you can see for yourself. Jozu pointed to the east sky. There, an intelligence bird unique to the Whitebeard pirates is on its way. It doesn't take a moment. The intelligence bird flew over the whale ship Moby Dick and circled for weeks. The mass of news reports hanging around his neck poured down from his head and fell into the hands of everyone on the deck. Wow, for a moment. There was an uproar. Hey, this kind of thing. Is this report serious? That mad woman and Ant and Kaido, the 2 of them went together, and they were even defeated by the hero Luolin. The strongest creature Kaido of the beasts actually died. Anyway, this is too exaggerated. 1-on-2, so that's the case, that the hero Luo Lin fought 2 sea emperors. And he even won. This hero named Luo Lin is too strong. Is he still more powerful than Dad? ... On the deck of the Moby Dick, the thieves in the white group couldn't help screaming in shock. I can't accept what I'm seeing in front of me. Horrific facts. It turned out to be dead. Looking at the report in his hand, Rao was the 4th Emperor Whitebeard, and at this moment there was a storm in his heart. The 4 emperors Charlotte Linlin had contacted him earlier to tell him not to interfere in the Weisung incident. Whitebeard had given her and Kaido advice, or rather, had warned them of the risk of death in this operation. But at that time, Whitebeard was just talking casually to scare them. After all, no matter how terrifying the past hero Luo Lin was, even if he was afraid at 3 points, he was still alone. Kaido and Auntie have indeed become stronger over the years. Strong enough to be on an equal footing with him. Undead creatures and unbreakable golden bodies, even Whitebeard has to recognize the strength of these 2 people. Even 1-on-1, you can't beat Marine's hero. The 4 emperors are not easily beheaded. In Whitebeard's original estimate, Kaido and Ren will face off against 2 marine heroes, Roland and Garp, respectively. In the 1-on-1 duel, he was beaten madly by Roland and Garp, and finally fled back in despair. Who would have thought that the truth is far more exaggerated than he imagined? A joke that he once said casually turned out to be true. Hero Garp the Fist didn't even make a move, and Luo Lin alone would have killed Kaido and the Big Mom Alliance, and even died. Damn, that bastard Roland is getting more and more perverted. I really don't want to see him again. Whitebeard sighed inwardly, his old face twitching uncontrollably. Father, in addition to Mad Woman and Ant and Kaido, this big event seems to have some incredible characters. The captain of the 6th Division, Bramank, and others walked quickly. Dad, look at these people, the 2 dark horses of the conference. And the last 2 people who appeared, are they really the remnants of the original Rocks pirates? The 7th Division Captain Rakyo. No, I don't know them. With just one glance, Whitebeard decisively shook his head in denial. Ah! The doubts in the people's hearts suddenly increased. Wait, the captains pondered it. Ah! An angry scream rang out. Vista, captain of the 5th Division. What's up, Vista? Jozu asked. Teach that bastard shows up too. Vista, who got the news about the new strongest creature, yelled angrily. What did you say? It's Captain Ace and Captain Marco, as well as Jinbei, Doma, Makuge and the others, and they fought Teach at the meeting. The members of the 2nd Division team also discovered the report and couldn't help but shouted in shock. Ace and Marco, all right, that bastard in Teach must be dead. That's great. Atmos the Buffalo laughed excitedly. No, Captain Atmos. Titi, that bastard of Teach, I don't know what method he used, he actually has captured the magical beast dragon power of the 4 Emperor Kaido of the beasts. What? Boom, Whitebeard's Conqueror Haki blasts. Chapter 483, Whitebeard's Hidden Worries. Blackbeard's ambition open black lens bracket 3/4 close black lens bracket. Boom, the mighty Conqueror Haki exploded from the deck of the whale ship Moby Dick. It was the king of the sea, and the 4 emperors, Whitebeard, were angry. The calm sea of Walala raised a huge wave, slapping the sand and shore. The originally clear sky was also cloudy due to Whitebeard's mood changes. Ji Udong, under the shock of Whitebeard's sudden release of air, the deck that had been clamoring for a moment fell silent. Fortunately, the Haki didn't deliberately target anyone on the boat. Go faster. Realizing his gaffe, Whitebeard put away the leaking Haki. Vista, Ace, Marco, how are they? Whitebeard asked in a deep voice, not without worry. Dad, don't worry, Ace and Marco are all fine. Foil Vista nodded. Although that bastard Teach somehow stole Kaido's fruit ability, but Captain Ace and Captain Marco are not ordinary people, plus Jinbei, Doma and Makuge, it is reported that the bastard teaches the whole process. He was beaten and beaten by the captains. Second Division who got the full report were not without a proud speech. It's just such a pity that the bastard Teach was allowed to escape in the end. There's no other way, but I'll never let him escape again next time. The members of each division were talking confidently and optimistically. Whitebeard picked up the wine jar beside him and poured half of it down. The deep lock between the eyebrows still could not be unlocked. Daddy. The 13 squad leaders sat in a circle in front of Whitebeard. Dad, are you worried too? What kind of freak is that Blackbeard guy? Even after eating a fruit, he even stole a second ability. It's incomprehensible. Dad, you know how he did it. Jozu, Vista, Azang and other captains spoke one after another. Teach. Whitebeard's pale golden eyes narrowed. That bastard in Teach is different from that guy, he's a real alien, lurking on my ship for so long, is he finally going to show his fangs to the world? The expression on Whitebeard's old face gradually turned cold. Teach and that guy. Who is that guy? The captains looked at each other. Wait, Jozu and the others inquired further, and Whitebeard spoke again. Jozu, recall Ace and Marco, it's not just a simple Teach now. Whitebeard said solemnly. Father, what the hell? The ambition of that bastard in Teach, I know best, he will not be satisfied if he steals the ability of Kaido Kid, and then he will expand his team and occupy his place in the new world. Dad, do you mean that Blackbeard is going to take Kaido's territory too? Foil Vista's eyes widened in shock. That arrogant bastard, who thought that he could become the new strongest creature with the ability of Kaido bastard, did he lead the beasts on an equal footing with me, and completely destroyed him in the next war, hula la la la. Whitebeard laughs. Zia ha 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 ha, so happy, it's so happy. An uninhabited island on the Great Route. Teach, who looks like a black pig, laughed and drank happily. As expected of our Captain Teach, toast to the birth of the new world's strongest creature. Fighting champion Jesus Burgess shouted. Otonoshi Van Augur and Reaper Poison both responded. Captain Teach, what are we going to do next? Jesus Burgess asked. The next step, of course, is to drop by to take over Kaido of the Beast's territory, zia ha 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 ha. Blackbeard grinned. But those bastards of the Beasts don't seem to buy it. Van Augur frowned. Then why besides them, the 100 Beast Pirates still have at least tens of thousands of grassroots pirates. Although their personal combat strength is not as good as those cadres, they are relatively easy to conquer, ziahaha. Blackbeard laughed. Wea is like that, he really deserves to be Captain Teach. Fighting champion Jesus Burgess flattered. Cough cough puff puff, the 4 Emperors Kaido of the Beasts are really good people, he left us such a big family business. The sinister way of death's poison. Ziahahaha, little ones, get your fill and get ready to hit the road. ... Chapter 484 Zoro, who learned the truth, shed tears open black lens bracket 4/4 close black lens bracket. Early morning. Morning light. The eastern sky lit up with the first smear of fish belly white, tearing through the darkness, illuminating the mountains and rivers. About 1,000 meters away from the sea, high altitude. A fragment of a broken island with a radius of 500 meters faced the rising sun and was suspended alone in the sky. For a moment. The broken island earth suddenly shook slightly. One blade stream 36 troubled winds. 72 troubles with 2 swords. 3 swords and 108 troubles. Ghost Chi 9 swords Ashura 1 mist silver. 1 big 3,000 worlds. Boom 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 boom, accompanied by chanting, the broken island with a radius of 500 meters made a rumbling sound and collapsed in the earthquake. A haggard figure emerged from the ground and embraced the sky. It is Liu Kai, the green algae head, the pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro. After a night of hard work, looking for an exit, after fruitless. Zoro has to admit that he is a road idiot. There is no choice but to choose a more direct way. He broke through the chaotic underground labyrinth. Sure enough, the air outside is better. Zoro closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Then, although it was delayed a little bit, Zoro opened his eyes and looked into the distance. The words in his mouth and the expressions on his face were all frozen. I see, is this the edge of the island? Looking at the empty sky, Zoro nodded suddenly, and then turned 180 degrees. After seeing the same emptiness at the end of the line of sight, Zoro's body froze, his eyes widened. Mechanically turned 90 degrees, then 180 degrees. Be sure that the sky is all around you. The place where he stood was behind an isolated island in the sky. Zoro is completely stupid. Hey, what the hell is going on? Zoro raised his voice and exclaimed. I'm just, after a little delay, it's just, how come I even changed the terrain? Could it be that I'm still in the labyrinth, or is it an illusion, but the surrounding is not the sky? Zoro was lost in thought. Just when Zoro was thinking about taking a step forward and giving it a try, a familiar cry suddenly came from the mist not far away. Hey Zoro. This is the voice of Straw Hat Luffy. Luffy. Zoro's face brightened. Zoro, you finally came out. The long-nosed Usopp shouted loudly, I won't hallucinate Usopp too. Zoro frowned. Ha ha ha, idiot Lukai Luzotu, you really showed us a good show last night. Sanji sneered mercilessly. That slutty cook bastard. Zoro's face sank. Zoro. More and more familiar voices sounded from behind the clouds, causing Zoro to be stunned for a while. I don't know if this is an illusion or reality. But Zoro's confusion didn't last long. Soon. White clouds surging. A sunny little lion ship appeared in Zoro's field of vision and slowly flew by. That ship is. Zoro's eyes widened, recognizing what the ship looked like. It is the lion ship that they commissioned to build the lion ship, such as Iceberg and Frankie in the water capital. On the deck of the lion ship, familiar people such as Luffy with the straw hat, Usopp with the long nose, Sanji the chef, and Frankie waved to him. Luffy, Usopp, it's really you. Zoro was overjoyed and stepped forward subconsciously. Zoro, who was pleasantly surprised, forgot that this was a kilometer high in the sky. So, oh. Amid the shouts of Usopp and the others, Zoro fell straight down. Mr. Isho. The black-haired swordsman Lucio hurriedly looked at Isho. Hoo ho ho, the young people are really bold these days. Isho chuckled, the staff knife in his hand lightly tapped on the thousand suns. Gravity increase. The little lion ship fell at a very fast speed and caught Zoro under the precise control of Isho. Pata, Zoro fell to the deck with his face on the ground. Ha 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 ha, green algae head, you really made me laugh to death. Sanji laughed mercilessly. Hoo. Zoro gasped for breath. It took a while to finally calm down. Luffy, Usopp, what the hell is going on? I've been delayed for a while. It's just, why did this place become like this? How's the meeting going? Zoro asked repeatedly. Everyone. Zoro, the meeting has already ended. Frankie rode. Zoro, Nani. Zoro, you've been in the labyrinth for almost a day and a night, it's only for a while. Usopp stroked his forehead. Zoro, Nani. We've even finished the banquet, but don't be disappointed, Zoro, I know you must be hungry and thirsty, so I brought you some wine and meat. Fishman Young Nob pointed to a corner of the deck. Only a few bones remained on the huge dinner plate. Zoro. People. Then, they all looked at Luffy, whose body was as round as a ball. Not me. Luffy covered his mouth and lied. Forget it, as long as there is wine. Zoro waved his hands indifferently and slammed a jar. Usopp, Tell me in detail what happened while I was away. Zoro asked. Good. Usopp rejoiced. He started to talk to Zoro about the big events that happened yesterday, and Zoro couldn't help but be shocked. However, when he heard the start of the banquet yesterday, the whole process of attacking the maze was broadcast live on the big screen in the square. Zoro's whole body was stupid again, like petrified, shattered to the ground. Zoro wailed and began to drink alcohol to drown his sorrows. Ha ha ha. Chapter 485 40,000 Marines into Waesung open black lens bracket 1/4 for subscription close black lens bracket. The Waesung event is over. That 2 Sea Emperors, the 4 Emperors Kaido of the Beasts, and Lot Linlin's defeat, set off a storm in the world. Whether it's a big country or a small town, people in the streets and alleys are all talking about this big event after a meal. The key person among them is naturally the hero who created this big event. 36 years ago. Under the suppression of the big hand called the world government, all the glory that belongs to the hero has been stripped away. Even the people's speeches and even their thoughts are strictly controlled and suppressed by the government. As a result, the hero was dusted and completely disappeared into history. 36 years later. The name of the hero Roland once again spread to the sea. The glory of the past blooms again and is known to the world. Coupled with the great achievements in defeating the alliance of 4 emperors now. 2-phase edition. This time, even the world government can no longer cover the sky with one hand. With Waesung as the center, the pattern and direction of the world has changed. At this moment, Alabasta, Waesung. After a night of banquets and celebrations of victory, Marines gathered on the Waesung Square, under the leadership of the officers, boarded their respective warships in an orderly manner, ready to set sail back to the Marine headquarters. It was as originally planned. After yesterday's Buster Call ended, it was time for them to return. Only this time is special. Marshal Sengoku, who was far away in the Marine headquarters, also acquiesced to their stay this time. But what Marshal Sengoku never imagined was that, because of his acquiescence, in just one night, their Marine would have lost 40,000 men. Buster Call specification for the world-class martial arts tournament is 4 times that of the past. Marine dispatched an admiral, Akainu. 10 vice admiral, including Hero Garp, alternate Admiral Guion, such as Super Elite Vice Admiral. In addition, there are 20 Marine headquarters war-class warships. The number of sailors on each warship is about 10,000, a total of more than 200,000. This is an unprecedented move in Marine's history. The results are very rich. Countless pirates died under the Marine Buster Call. Likewise, their loss is huge. There were more than 200,000 troops when they set off, but less than 160,000 when they returned. A full 40,000 less. Of course, that's just Marine's loss. For Waesung, the addition of 40,000 Marine combat power is a huge gain. Akainu Admiral, what to do? Akainu, are you going to stop it? Anyway, the collective withdrawal of 40,000 troops will cause huge damage. The central warship, Doberman, Onagumo, and others all had expressions like eating dead flies. Morning, when I learned that there was a 4-signed joint, job-hopping, book written. Row is them, veterans who have experienced hundreds of battles, the whole person is stunned. After all, this was the big event that shook their Marine roots. Marine's combat power, which has been cultivated so hard, can't stand for anyone to change jobs like this. However, in this situation, they really can't do anything about it. It's not 1 or 2 people after all. It is the common will of 40,000 sailors. If ordered, it could trigger a huge backlash. Cause unimaginable consequences. Akainu. Forget it. Under the collective gaze of the Marine veterans, Admiral Akainu finally spoke. Let them go, send the order down, and prepare to return. Admiral Akainu gave the order, the look on his face was inexplicable. Good moment. Like Doberman and Onagumo realized that Admiral Akainu really planned to do nothing this time. Maybe it was because of being beaten yesterday that everyone had this idea unconsciously in their hearts. Immediately he shook his head again. Now, this is not something they can decide. Since even Admiral Akainu said so. Then, let them go. In the future, if Mr. Sengoku initiates a riot, he will never find them first. Under the command of Admiral Akainu, 17 warships anchored on the coast of Waesung moved in unison, ready to set sail. Father, uncles, then I'll go first. Vice Admiral Momonga also said goodbye to Alfred and a group of veterans. This Buster call, he and Garp acted together, almost. Just watching a play. Almost nothing is done. If you don't go back right now, I'm afraid it won't work. Go go go. Boy Momonga, say hello to Brother Sengoku for us when we go back. By the way, help us to thank Sengoku for the big gift, ha ha ha. The veterans laughed happily. This, Vice Admiral Momonga's face immediately collapsed. Say this to Marshal Sengoku. It's not going to kill you. Don't go. Definitely don't go. With a forced smile on his face, Vice Admiral Momonga responded perfunctorily and then hurriedly ran away. Goodbye, Rhodes. After I deal with the matter of returning to the headquarters, I will go to Mr. Roland. Well, then it's agreed. Enter Lalo. No, Lalo, you have to work harder here in the future. Commodore Daikin patted the young man in front of him on the shoulder. Yes, Mr. Daikin, I will do my best. The young man named Lai Luo clenched his fist. Similar goodbye conversations can be found all over the coast. Listening to those conversations, the expressions of the Marine veterans on the warship couldn't help but turn darker. Several urgent orders were issued in succession. Leave 5 minutes early. 18 Marine War-class warships were connected end-to-end and left Waesung one after another. Watching the departure of the former Marine colleagues, the 40,000 sailors on the square withdrew their gazes and turned to look at Luo Lin on the high platform in the middle of the square. Those faces were full of vigor and hope. Next, here's the new beginning of their life. Whether in Marine or here, as long as the justice in their hearts remains the same, nothing will change. Central high platform of Wachung Plaza. Roland's eyes swept across those vigorous faces, and the curvature of the corners of his mouth gradually expanded. Welcome to Waesung. Chapter 486 General Instructor Zephyr. S speech open black lens bracket 2/4 for subscription close black lens bracket. Welcome to Waesung. On the high platform in the square, Luo Lin smiled and opened his mouth. Spread throughout the square through the loudspeaker bug. Waesung Square, which gathered more than 40,000 people, was silent at first. Then there was an explosion of cheers and clamor. Looking at this vibrant scene, Luo Lin couldn't help but feel happy from the bottom of his heart. With the injection of these 40,000 young vitality, the city will not be as deserted as before. And from now on, the city will be even more lively. After all, the 40,000 Marines here are not all. At the celebration last night, when the first sailor proposed the idea of staying here, in an instant, it was like a stone that stirred up 1,000 waves. At least half of the more than 200,000 sailors present responded. Except for the 40,000 sailors left behind. There are at least 60,000 sailors who have expressed their willingness to stay. If all these 100,000 people really stay behind, Marshal Sengoku, who is far away from the Marine headquarters, is afraid that he will not kill him at the first time. Of course, it wasn't because of this that Rollins only accepted 40,000 sailors. But for some other reasons. Yesterday's Waesung event. Roland announced his return to the world with a series of feats. But there's one more thing that he didn't make public. That was the story of the disappearance of the hero 36 years ago. Now is not the best time to go public. Roland also didn't want to tear his face with the world government now. And the reason why he did not fully accept 100,000 sea soldiers. It is also based on this consideration. How good his relationship with Marine was in the past. As long as Marine is alive, under the control of the world government, sooner or later both sides will meet. Rollins knew this. Veterans know. But ordinary sailors don't know. The huge secrets in it, of course, can't be said. Clearly inform those hot-headed young sailors of the powerful relationship, that after joining Waesung, it is no longer Marine. This finally made the, or momentary, seamen who were paralyzed by alcohol a little sober. After solemnly thinking about this decision of my own, I firmly believe that it is the more than 40,000 people in the square who will stay no matter what. Generals and sailors of the two warships rescued by Luo Lin from the debris of the island. The followers who were attracted by the miracle caused by Roland in the Battle of Chinfan Island a month ago, etc. As for other interested sailors, they will return to the Marine headquarters first, and make a final decision after they have fully thought about it. In the future, our Waesung will be more and more lively. Ha 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 ha, that's how it is supposed to be. In the future, this city will no longer be deserted. Yes, yes, these young boys are all good. I never imagined that in our lifetime, we would still be able to lead a soldier once. The veterans standing on the second floor of the high platform are all gearing up, with excitement on their faces. They have not seen this kind of grand occasion for a long time. Thinking of his boss, Luo Lin finally regained his past glory. The veterans are happy for Roland from the bottom of their hearts. This. Garp and Zephyr, who are Roland's closest comrades, are the same. However, one thing to say. The more people there are in the city, the more important discipline is. Look, it's Teacher Zephyr. Mr. Zephyr is on stage. Amid the excited cheers of the sailors, Zephyr took the stage and occupied the podium. Listen to me, idiots. Zephyr's loud, majestic voice echoed across the square. Hear the words. The more than 40,000 sailors in the square all kept silent and stood at attention. As a member of the Marine headquarters, how could the Marines not care about the majesty of the chief instructor Zephyr? No less than 1,000 among them, who were once Zephyr's students and received strict teaching from Zephyr. For Zephyr's awe, that comes from the heart. Looking at the suddenly quiet square, Zephyr nodded. This is not the Marine headquarters, and you are no longer Marines, but accept this point, nothing else will change. Don't think that you can relax and be lazy when you get here, are you clear? Zephyr reprimanded with dignity. Yes, Teacher Zephyr. All the more than 40,000 sailors responded in unison. It's good to be clear, but... Zephyr smiled and the conversation changed. But today is special, take the last chance to revel. Tomorrow will officially start. Zephyr reminded. Hear the words. The sailors in the square were stunned for a moment. Oh. Then, the cheers resumed. Ha ha ha. Big brother Zephyr is really reliable. I am afraid our boss won't say these words. The veterans all laughed. Thank you, Zephyr. The high platform, Luo Lin also smiled and patted Zephyr's shoulder. This is also my Waesung now, the root of each of us, ah. Zephyr grinned. Chapter 487. Everyone here likes it the most. Open black lens bracket 3/4 for subscription. Close black lens bracket. Waesung Banquet. The grand banquet will resume. This time, however, it wasn't to celebrate the victory of the big event. It was a welcome banquet for the 40,000 sailors who joined the city. PFF'd, ha ha ha, today is such a good day. Garp couldn't help laughing happily in the high-rise stand of Waesung headquarters building. It's such a good day, Garp, won't you go down? The young Vice Admiral Suru looked at Garp with a smile. When the banquet starts later, of course I have to go, but for now, don't make fun of me, Suru. If I stay too, Sengoku will be really lonely alone. Garp spoke earnestly. Sengoku, is the position of Marshal really so attractive? Suru's eyes narrowed and Vivi murmured softly. Sister Crane, are you worried about Mr. Sengoku's side? Gion asked. Nothing. Crane shook his head. PFF ha ha ha, it's too late to worry now. That guy Sengoku is probably starting to get angry by now. Fortunately we're far away. Garp laughed gleefully. Oh, the banquet has already started. Then I'll go first. Goodbye, Suru, Gion girl. Garp finally said hello and stepped down on the moon step to the banquet square. Garp, after you go, help me call Roland over. I have something to look for him. Suru opened his mouth. Understood. Garp made a gesture. At this moment, Marine Headquarters Marineford, the headquarters building shook without warning. A strong breath permeated the air, and the source was the office of Marshal Sengoku. Violent mood swings of Marshal Sengoku. The sailors inside and outside the building all widened their eyes in shock. I wonder if Mr. Sengoku took the gunpowder today, and the green-haired Commodore Branu, who was planning to report to Sengoku, turned his head and left without saying a word. Although I don't know what happened, I don't want to touch this brow. Yahahahi, it seems that it's better for me to go first. Also came to the door and wanted to try to persuade Marshal Sengoku to take the initiative to release Saul, shrank his neck and also turned to leave. Didn't bother Marshal Sengoku's madness. At the same time, Waesung headquarters building. Shortly after Garp left. High-rise stands, the air is Vivi rippling. Suru, listen to Garp saying you're looking for me. Roland's figure appeared out of thin air. Rolingo. Brother Roling, here you come. Tutor. Dad. Lord Roland. Seeing Luo Lin's appearance, Nami, Vivi, Koala, Empress, Gion and other girls all gathered around immediately. Roland grinned Isho. The big hands touched the little girls one by one, making Vivi and the others narrow their eyes in comfort and satisfaction. Finally, Luo Lin's warm big hand fell on Robin's waterfall-like black hair. Little Robin, how are you doing? Roland asked with concern. Robin nodded slightly. A big smile appeared on her delicate face. Yesterday. Because of Admiral Akainu and the terrifying Buster call, Ling's Robin recalled those past tragic memories, unconscious fears. But those fears all dissipated with Roland's slap on Admiral Akainu's face. Uncle. Thank you. Robin blushed slightly and thanked softly. Hey, what's there to be thankful for? You can slap him twice to relieve your anger, Miss Robin, tomorrow. Roland waved his hand indifferently. After greeting the little girls, I walked towards Suru. Wait, Roland asked Suru why he was looking for him. A pretty face and smiling face, Suru raised his hand and grabbed his wrist, and walked out the door without saying a word. Ah, wait, where are you taking me, Suru? Roland asked. Where am I going to take you, don't you know? Suru raised his eyebrows. Roland was stunned for a moment, then reacted immediately. Even without reading observation hockey, he could see what Suru meant. After using the mind-reading ability, as expected. Sure enough, I still have to do the physical examination that I said yesterday. Scene last night was grand, with more than 200,000 sailors present. Not be good if Luo Lin, the Lord of Wachung, was not there. Why Suru never mentioned it? But not mentioning it doesn't mean she forgot. There was no chance last night, so it's okay to delay until now. Suru, it's not good, I promise those old guys and I'll go back right away. Roland rode. Then what you promised me yesterday? Suru smiled back. Rollins is speechless. At night, definitely at night. Rollins assured. No, okay. Suru shook his head firmly. Agaga. Roland grinned and unconsciously learned the mantra of Alice in a peaked cap. Feeling the pair of watery, longing eyes that came from him, Luo Lin's head suddenly became big. But today it seems that there is no way to escape, so let's fight quickly. Roland thought so, and backhanded Suru into his arms. The space replacement ability activates. Disappeared in an instant. Watching Roland and Suru leave. Stance, the happy expressions on the faces of the little girls suddenly disappeared. All of them stretched their mouths and remained silent. Empress Hancock fell to the ground again, her silver teeth biting through her handkerchief. Everyone, what's wrong with you? Tina, who was completely absorbed in it, asked with a puzzled face. Nami, Vivi and the others glanced at Tina, and sighed in unison, both envious and helpless. Don't you all want to, like Mr. Roland? Tina, who finally realized that this is the place called the harem, opened her mouth in shock. Of course. Vivi nodded naturally to Tina's question. Everyone here likes Brother Roland the most, isn't Miss Tina? Nami asked in surprise. Tina is speechless. Outlier, in the crowd, but think about it carefully. Whenever Roland appeared in her sight, her heart tightened for no reason. Is this the feeling of heartbeat? When did it start? After learning about his legend and hero status? No. Even earlier. Yes, I like Mr. Roland too. The gazes of Nami, Vivi and other little girls, Tina, who had thought for a while, nodded affirmatively, facing her true feelings for the first time. Chapter 488 Satisfied Crane. Farewell to the night before. Open black lens bracket 4/4 for subscription close black lens bracket. From morning to dusk. In Waisung Square, people cheered happily. The atmosphere is warm. Evening. The sun goes down. Roland returned to Waisung Plaza after finishing his medical examination. Originally bustling and lively banquet had dissipated, leaving a mess and a group of drunks. The cleaning staff in Waisung is cleaning the grounds. Boss, you're back, hiccup. The drunk veteran Colin Hiccups sat up and greeted Luo Lin. As the banquet over, Roland scratched the back of his head. Tomorrow, the recruits will have to train. It's almost done here. Mr. Zephyr is now leading everyone to assign accommodation. Alfred laughed. Hey. The old man Mu Lien suddenly lewd Isho. Roland looked sideways. But I saw Mu Lien mysteriously took out a pot from behind. Big waste. The boss has been working hard this day. I specially reserved this for the boss. I'll eat it soon. Mu Lien laughed. Cunning Mu Lien, fortunately I was prepared. Another veteran said and took out a pot of leeks from behind. I have it too. Boss, it's still something like me, the most important supplement. Go, there's no such thing as a donkey that I picked for you. Boss, eat this bowl and keep you alive and well. It's still mine. My good. A group of veterans seemed to have negotiated. They scrambled to give the hidden, good things, to Luo Lin. There was an inexplicable smile on that old face. Looking at the attentive looks of the old guys, Luo Lin couldn't help but have black lines all over his face. Where can you not hear the jokes in the words of these old guys? You are so brave. Luo Lin's fists and palms handed over, making a clicking sound. Hearing the sour sound between Roland's palms. The smiles on the faces of the veterans faded. Run. Old man Mu Lien let out a strange cry, and the first shaman ran wildly on the road. The other veterans in the field were also well prepared and left in a hurry. Fleeing in dozens of different directions. Boss, don't look at us, we didn't participate. Alfred, who was standing still, waited for someone to clarify. Hee. Roland smiled. Shaw, figure suddenly disillusioned. After a while. Mu Lien, who ran far away, screamed. Boss, I'm sorry. Mu Lien, what a lousy idea you have. I really believe in your evil. I'm sorry, boss. I'll come again next time. No, I am wrong. I mean I'll definitely not come next time. The square, cheering shouts came one after another. 5 minutes later. Roland clapped his hands. Finish work. None of the old and uncultivators headed by Mu Lien were successful, and they all rushed to the streets. Boss, Mr. Garp and the others have already moved to the Dome restaurant for the second half. Do you want to take a look? Veteran Alfred's old face twitched Vivi. Well, yar, then these old guys will be handed over to you. Luo Lin nodded, and he disappeared from the square with one step. Yar, is the boss gone? An old soldier who was on the street opened one eye and closed the other, and asked in a low voice. Let's go, let's all get up, stop pretending. Veteran Alfred shook his head helplessly. Hey. The group of veterans who were lying on the ground were all hee-hee-isho and got up one after another. Of course there were a few who couldn't get up. But it wasn't because of being knocked out. But because he lied on the ground and pretended to be in a coma for too long, he had already fallen asleep, and even his snoring was loud. Ha ha ha. The crowd laughed. The other sighed. Weisung Dome restaurant is still very lively. The large gathering of tens of thousands of people in the square ended. Full of energy and cheered were gathered here to continue the second half. When Roland appeared in the restaurant, the warm atmosphere in the room suddenly increased to a higher level. PFF ha ha ha, Roland, come and have something to eat. Garp laughed and took a piece of his waist. Roland. If it wasn't for the use of mind reading to read that Garp didn't do it on purpose, Roland would definitely have hammered him with him. Mr. Roland. Mr. Hero. We toast you. The shouts from the representatives of the major islands of East Blue awakened Roland from his speechless state. Raise a glass and drink with the crowd. Oh. The crowd cheered. Gudong, Mr. Luo Lin is as handsome as ever. The elderly fish Kokoro winks at Luo Lin. Hero, I want to have a drink with you too. Meow. The little girl with braids, Simone, and the rabbit jumped up. Okay. Roland smiled and nodded, clinking glasses with the juice of Zimoni and rabbit cum. Uncle Roland, we have to leave tomorrow. Iceberg stepped forward with a glass of wine. It's really going to go back, after all, it's a long, Iceberg. Roland patted Iceberg on the shoulder. Where is? Iceberg waved his hand, and immediately turned his color. Uncle Roland, then. Don't worry, Khalifa and the others will stay with me. Roland grins isho. Thank you 183 4x 2610 for the reward from the boss. Thanks to the boss 18 for the reward. Summer reading every day is fun. Charge 100 and get 500 coupons. : Immediate top-up event time, August 7th to August 9th. Chapter 489 Shocked and Frightened CP9 Open black lens bracket 1/4 for full order close black lens bracket. A faint kerosene lamp lit in the dark basement of there, illuminating a corner. Sha, interlaced light and shadow. 3 vague shadows passed by and appeared in the basement. Squeak. There was a soft sound. The air cracked open. Then, like a door, it was pushed open from the inside out. Everyone is fine. With a hair like horns, Bluno, a door fruit-capable person of 9, let out a long breath, and looked like he was still terrified. Yesterday's big incident is like scaring people to death. Rectangular Nose 9 clenched his teeth, and his expression was full of shock and panic. As witnesses to the Weisung event, the shock they suffered is unimaginable. Especially when they finally know the identity of the lord of this Wachung. This is the most shocking thing to them. That man turned out to be the hero of marine legend. The hero Roland. Khalifa's pretty face was almost sluggish, and she was murmuring to herself unconsciously. Even though a day has passed, she still can't accept this horrific thing lightly. If all this is not a dream, but a fact she encountered in the few times she was with him can be explained. It wasn't that she was cursed. From beginning to end, she is the master of this Wachung, a plaything, in the hands of the hero Luo Lin. The other party has been teasing her from the very beginning. At the beginning, when I lost myself, I planned to kill and silence her. If he really did it a few times, with his weak strength, attacking and killing the strongest of the 4 emperors in the town of Overturning Hands, what the result would be, one can already imagine what would happen. Think here. Khalifa couldn't help shaking his head and sneering, laughing at his weakness and naivety. She is still alive to this day, it is simply a miracle. Lucci, then again, yesterday, at the end of the big event, those 2 people, he, is their identity. The stiff-faced honest man Bluno rolled his Adam's apple, swallowing the saliva from shock and panic, so that his speech was broken. 9th strongest Rob Lucci, who has always kept silent, has the final reaction. They are the highest power in the world. Lucci affirmed the identity of the last 2. Face seemed calm, but the trembling of his hands revealed his true feelings. Gorosei, 5 elders who truly reigned at the pinnacle of world power. They have stayed in the holy place of Mariajoy all the year round, but one day they will go down to the holy place to kill a person. Then, after showing his powerful combat power, he was even killed. In the end, even the one who was chased and killed fled in embarrassment. This kind of thing is unheard of, like a dream. Who would have believed it if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes? It's terrifying, it's terrifying. First the 4 emperors, then the unfathomable Gorosei, 5 elders. This place can't stay any longer. Kagu's face was full of panic, and he shook his head unconsciously. Even if we continue to stay, it won't help. As of now, we alone cannot obtain any useful information from this monster-swarming city. Bluno backed away. This time, even Rob Lucci did not speak out. Because even he himself thought so. Fortunately we can leave tomorrow, this place I will never come back. Kaz made a crisp sound. Clearly audible in a quiet basement. I heard an inexplicable voice coming from a dark corner of the basement. The 4 professional killers of Lucci, Khalifa, Kagu, and Bluno are all on alert. All the muscles in his body tensed in an instant. Who? Khalifa took a deep breath and snapped. It was Kaz's crisp sound that answered her. Rankyaku, Tempest Kick Shuriken. Kagu didn't say a word, he put one hand on the ground, and his feet fired like machine guns. Countless Rankyaku Tempest Kick air blades shot towards the depths of the darkness, but all of them were like mud cows entering the sea, unable to turn over the slightest wind and waves. That guy's senbei from Garp, it's not bad, if you have another cup of black tea, it will be even more delicious. In the darkness, a human whisper finally sounded. Listening to the whispers of the man in the dark, the pupils of Lucci and Khalifa 4 all shrunk. So far, they still do not know the identity of the person watching in the dark, but they have heard someone mentioned in his words. Garp, hero Garp. There are very few people in this world who can call Garp in such a tone. In this city, there may only be the same hero. Khalifa's pretty face was stunned by shock. And Bluno were horrified. Even the ruthless killing machine Rob Lucci held his breath unconsciously. A soft click sounded. The light of the incandescent lamp overwhelmed the dripping light of the kerosene lamp, illuminating the huge underground space. Long-nosed brat, you said just now that you will never. You want to come back, do you have any opinion on my city? Roland chuckled softly. Chapter 491 Finger kills the strongest CP9 in 800 years. Open black lens bracket 2/4 for subscription. Close black lens bracket. Long-nosed kid, do you have any dissatisfaction with this place? ... Incandescent lights flickered, illuminating the huge underground space. At the same time, the figure of the person eating senbei in the dark came into the eyes of 9 Khalifa 4 people, who eavesdropped on their secret conversation in the dark. Lucci, Khalifa, Kagu, Bluno, the 4 elite killers of 9, all showed extreme shock and horror on their faces. An emotion called fear spread and quickly took over their whole body. On the eve of finally being able to leave, the master of the city, the legendary hero, finally found them. How desperate is this? Especially Kagu, who was named and questioned by Roland. His eyes widened, his pupils shrank suddenly, and his mouth was wide open, gasping for breath. The extreme cold, like the 1,000-year-old mysterious ice, rushed from the soles of his feet all the way up to the top of his head, almost freezing the blood flowing in his body. When the hell did you come? Rob Lucci deserves to be the strongest of the 800 years of Enies Lobby. Even in this situation, there is still a fighting spirit. I've been here since the first time you met here. Roland grinned. Hear the words. Khalifa, Kagu and Bluno's faces were even more pale, and their bodies were shaking uncontrollably. It turned out that from the moment they entered the city, they were always under the sight of others. Every secret conversation during this period. The other party was all present, quietly watching their performances. Despair. At this moment, all the Khalifa 3 felt was the endless despair. Asshole, don't deceive people too much. Rob Lucci's body shook uncontrollably with anger and fear. In the process of shaking, it continues to rise, grow, and change. The sound of tear, clothes bursting sounded. That's Rob Lucci transforming. The activation of zones cat, fruit, and leopard form ability more than doubled Lucci's body, and a fierce murderous aura appeared all over his body. Lucci, stop. Kagu was shocked. It's useless, Lucci, our opponent is even the 4 emperors, and even the Gorosei 5 elders are defeated existences, it's over. Khalifa tragically Isho. I won't admit it when it's over. Lucci, in the form of a leopard orc, took a deep breath. Sharp leopard claws overlapped at the waist. Rokushiki, 6 styles biggest wheel 6 king guns. Boom, the air roared overwhelmed by Lucci's stunt. Even if the opponent is the strongest. Rob Lucci still hasn't hit his best shot yet. This courage is truly commendable. But, Pata, is Rob Lucci's most powerful move, the 6 Kings Spear, the sound of falling on Roland. As if being hit by a fly's fist, Roland's body remained motionless. This kind of thing. When aware of this horrifying fact, even a ruthless killing machine like Lucci was shaken. Those leopard eyes were trembling uncontrollably. Little devil, you are 100 years too early to play Rokushiki in front of me, the founder of Rokushiki. Roland chuckled softly. Right hand is raised, the middle finger is arched, and then pops out. Clap, again softly. This is the sound of Roland's fingers touching Lucci's forehead. The world seemed to be silent. Rob Lucci's head suddenly fell back, and his fierce eyes instantly turned white. Under Roland's unparalleled fingering, Lucci felt that his whole head was about to burst like a watermelon. The depths of my mind were like a mess. Next second. Boom boom, accompanied by a thunderous boom. The power of Roland's finger exploded. Rob Lucci's figure is like a sharp arrow, flying backwards, and the speed is very fast. Along the way, I don't know how many stone pillars were broken. In the end, he fell deeply into the wall and was completely in a coma. Lucci. Khalifa and Kagu both lost their voices in shock. There's no other way, just run away. Bluno pushes the void with his right hand, and uses the door fruit ability to create an air door to run away. However, this time, his ability is invalid. No. Not a failure. His portal has indeed been formed, but it cannot be opened. At this moment, the atmosphere was heavy and terrifying, like a shackle on the door. This is my place in theory, and I didn't allow you to gate of opening at will, you kid. Roland opened his mouth with a smile, with a kind expression on his face. Ah! Bluno screamed in fear and backed away in horror. It's over. The pale Khalifa fell to the ground in despair. Don't show this expression, little girl Khalifa, after all, the old man is not a devil. Roland walked up to Khalifa and touched her small head with a big hand. It's just that this is enough to make Nami, Robin and other little girls scream comfortably, and Khalifa obviously can't understand it now. There is still extreme fear in her beautiful eyes, like a frightened helpless kitten. This is also not possible. It's the first time after all. What are you going to do to us? Khalifa curled up with her trembling body, plucking up the courage to speak. It's nothing, it's just that the rental fee for my venue is very expensive. Khalifa. These days, you have occupied my site 12 times without my permission, plus these. The cost of repairing broken pillars, broken walls, etc. All add up. I can only keep you all. Come down, work for 10 years, and pay off the debt after 8 years of work. Khalifa. Hearted boss. You are definitely the most black-hearted boss ever. Crack, ouch. Chapter 491 Leave each other. Open black lens bracket 3/4 ask for a full order close black lens bracket. Early morning. The sky was only bright. The sun has not yet risen. Wei Sung is already awake. The summons of the devil's chief instructor Zephyr. The 40,000 soldiers who had only joined Wei Sung for less than a day gathered urgently to start the most important morning exercise of the day. And loud training slogans of the soldiers resounded in the sky over the city. Not so warm. At the same time. Wei Sung Coast, Battleship Repair Port. It was also full of people's voices. Who have lived here for more than half a month will leave today and return to the water capital. Ah, I'm so envious, Lucci Shipmaster and Kagu Shipmaster, they are able to be seen by heroes and stay here to do things, what an honor it is. A young boatman in the capital of water stuck his chin with an envious look. Crack. Boy, it's already dawn, stop dreaming. Barry, the boatman with orange goggles, slashed the young boatman's head with a knife, knocking him awake. Hey. Young boatman put his head in his hands, smiled embarrassedly, and hurriedly ran away. Leaving by the hero's fancy, Lucci and Kagu will probably be the chief ship engineer of this city, and it really is soaring. Not coming. Darustin, the bearded shipbuilder with muscles like a horned dragon, sighed to himself. Don't say that, maybe there is some secret mission. Another shipbuilder, Bipali Lulu, flattened her cocked hair. But then again, Lucci, Kagu and the others just stayed. Why did Khalifa stay with him? Could it be that Mr. Hero has taken a fancy to our secretary? Bipali Lulu guessed to herself. The atmosphere in the room suddenly fell silent. Barry's 3 boatmen and the boatmen who gathered around to listen to the gossip, all had a subtle expression on their faces. Hey, here comes Mr. Iceberg and Mr. Hero. Withdraw. Shish, the crowd dispersed. Sorry, Uncle Roland, I made you laugh. Iceberg apologized. It's all right. Roland waved his hands indifferently. Then come here first this time, and I'll visit Uncle Luo Lin. Iceberg said goodbye. Welcome anytime. Roland smiled. Mr. Handsome Hero, goodbye, I'll come to play with you next time. Meow meow meow. The sensible little girl Simone jumped up with the rabbit come. Sure, this is for you. Roland kindly touched the little head of the little girl Simone. Take it easy. A delicate necklace made of various precious shells appeared in his hand, and then put it on Zimmernie's neck. Wow, so beautiful, mother-in-law, look at it, the handsome hero uncle gave me this. Zimmernie jumped up and down with joy. Simone, did you say thank you to Mr. Rollins? Elderly fish Coco Rodo. Ah, I forgot. Simone paused. He hurriedly came to Luo Lin again, bowed respectfully and thanked him. 5 minutes later. The water capital fleet is ready to set sail. Mr. Hero. Mr. Roland. Thank you for your hospitality during this time. Before the departure, the people on the fleet gathered spontaneously to thank Roland on the coast and say goodbye. See you next time. Roland responded with a smile. Yes. A group of boatmen in the water capital shouted in surprise. Go. With an order from Iceberg. The water capital fleet set sail. At the same time. Wei Sung is in front of the Crescent Bay, and there are also many ships preparing to set sail. Those were the delegations from East Blue who came to scream at the opening ceremony of Wei Sung City. Now, the big event is over. Naturally, it was time for them to go back. Although it's a little reluctant to leave here, but when I think of my return, I can brag about my experience of this trip to my friends. The representatives of the various islands of East Blue were a little impatient. Of course, not everyone has to leave. Mr. Ajien, Nojiko, a girl with short blue hair and a weak complexion, opened her mouth. Needless to say, Nojiko, you can just stay here with peace of mind, just stay with Nami, and leave the village and the Orange Garden to me, so don't worry at all. Mr. Ajien, whose face is full of scars, said. Nojiko's sister, just stay. If you want to go back in the future, I can fly now. Let's fly back together, very soon. The little girl Nami patted her big breasts proudly. Nojiko nodded slightly. Ah. Here comes the hero. Mr. Rollins is here. With the arrival of Roland, the entire Crescent Harbor suddenly burst into jubilation. Chapter 492 Upright Luffy raises bars online open black lens bracket 4/4 for subscription close black lens bracket. Wei Sung Frontal Harbor, Crescent Bay. The delegations from the various islands of East Blue are also preparing for the voyage. PFF ha ha ha, slap, don't you stay and play for 2 more days. Garp laughed. Yes, old village chief, stay for 2 more days. Sabo agrees. Play and play, you know how to play if you don't do business all day long. Do you think I am as idle as you? But there are still many things waiting for me in the village. Slap said sternly. Oh, but village chief, didn't you used to wander around the village all day long? Straightforward Luffy pierces Slap. Village chief Slap choked on Luffy's frank question. I was. Strolling around and inspecting is also one of the important tasks of the village chief. Say it. Slap ignored Luffy who was raising his bar, and turned to look at Darden's group. Hey, Dayton, you bastards aren't going back. If you don't go back, you won't go back. If you don't do the good work on Mr. Luo Lin's side, who wants to go back and be a bandit? Darden said of course. The little Dogula and the other bandits also nodded their heads. Okay, don't go back. If you don't go back, then tell me where the treasure is hidden, and I'll take someone to dig it up later. I'll give everyone in the village a share to improve the conditions. Slap laughed. Gah. If you don't bring this, it's all that we've worked so hard to save. If you want to go back and have a look in the future. The bandit Darden and his gang wailed. Puff. Makino, who also came to say goodbye, couldn't help laughing out of joy. Little Makino, you shouldn't go back this time. Slap looked at Makino. Makino's pretty face blushed slightly, and he hummed softly. Okay, I'll find someone to help you watch your tavern. Remember, if that guy Roland bullies you, don't hold back. You can find me or Garp, we'll help you out. Slap waved his fists and said imposingly. Grandpa, the village chief, Mr. Luo Lin won't bully me. Makino shyly lowered his head and stomped his feet. I haven't even passed the door yet, just talking like this, I have to ask Luo Lin what kind of ecstasy soup that guy poured into my little girl. Village chief Slap rolled up his sleeves and looked ready to fight. Don't go to the village chief. Luffy stretched out his arms and hugged. Everyone was stunned. Little Luffy, what are you doing? Let me go. Slap struggled. Grandpa, the village chief, don't be impulsive, you can't beat the handsome uncle. Luffy spoke earnestly. Everyone. Slap. Does the old man look like a wise man? I'm just talking about it casually. Also, why didn't you find out that your kid is so capable before? Mr. Roland is here. Here comes the hero. At this moment, people on the coast not far away noticed Luo Lin's arrival, and immediately shouted excitedly. With a smile on his face, Llewellyn greeted the island representatives of East Blue one by one, making everyone excited and excited. Rolling brother, can my sister live with us? The little girl Nami jumped forward and hugged Llewellyn's arm affectionately. Isn't the little girl Nojiko going back? Roland asked. Place of Nojiko, Nami nodded again and again. Of course you can. Roland smiled and patted Nami's little head. Yeah. Nami happily made a victory gesture. Llewellyn finally came to the people of Windmill Village. Slap, it's a little lonely to go back alone, won't you stay for a few days? Roland smiled. Don't wait, the children in the village are still waiting for me to tell them stories. Slap roared. That's it, then next time you can bring everyone over to play together. Roland invited. You don't need to say, we are coming too. Who let you kidnap the most beautiful little girl in our village? As elders, we always come to see if Makino is doing well with you. Slap waved his cane. Hee hee. Roland put his big hand on Makino's hair and stroked it gently. Under the caress of Roland's big hand, Makino is like a docile kitten, with a satisfied and happy look on his face. Alas. Slap sighed and turned to board. Goodbye, Mayor. The three Straw Hat brothers and the bandits of the Dayton family waved goodbye together. Mr. Hero. Mr. Roland. Thanks for the hospitality. Just like the boatmen in the City of Water. The representatives of the East Blue Mission also gathered at the end and bowed to Llewellyn in a uniform manner. It's all gone, then I'm leaving too. Ace suddenly spoke up. Alas. Ace, you are leaving too. Chapter 493 Whitebeard, Captain Command Open Black Lens Bracket 1/4 Subscription Close Black Lens Bracket. Alas. Straw Hat Luffy's eyes widened suddenly, and the end of surprise was lengthened. Ace, are you even leaving? Luffy grabbed Ace's arm reluctantly. Ace, don't leave in a hurry, everyone will meet again after a long time. Can't you wait a while longer? Sabo, Makino, and the thieves of the Dayton family all opened their mouths to hold him back. Hee hee. Ace scratched the back of his head apologetically. I'm really sorry, everyone, I also want to have a happy party with Luffy, with Sabo, and everyone, but this is the captain's order from Dad, I have to go back. The captain of Whitebeard ordered Ace, you Whitebeard pirates don't want to take this opportunity to occupy the territory of Beasts and Big Mom. Garp's eyes narrowed at Vivi. Looking at the subtle expression on Garp's face, Ace couldn't help trembling. No, it's not that Dad called us. Because of this, let's not say more. Marco and the others are already waiting for me. Ace finally said hello, then turned into flames, and went straight towards the pirate ship of the Wanderer Doma, which was parked on the coast. Goodbye, Ace. See you at sea next time. Luffy and Sabo all waved goodbye. Goodbye, Brother Luffy. Ace's brothers, and Mr. Roland, were leaving. Luffy, Sabo, see you at sea later. Jinbei waved goodbye to Marco on the Doma pirate ship. Hey Luffy. Just when Straw Hat Luffy was saddened by the separation from his brother Ace. Not far from the coast, there was the cry of the little fat man Laziru. Blue, are you going too? Looking at Laziru who was packed and saluted, Luffy's head lit up once in a while. Ha ha ha, I can't go if I don't go. Shanks is still waiting for us to tell him stories. Laziru laughed. Dad. The long-nosed Usopp looked at his father reluctantly. Usopp. Usopp spoke loudly. Yes. Usopp stood at attention. You are already an excellent sea fighter now. Dad has really seen it. See you at sea next time. Usopp patted his son Usopp on the mouth and laughed. Yes, see you next time. I will definitely grow up to not lose to the old sea warrior. Usopp patted the bear's breast with confidence. Very good, he really deserves to be my son. Usopp laughed proudly. On the other side of the square. The strong sword intent burst out and collided. The ultimate sublimation, and then converged to the invisible. Assignment. Mahak, the second largest swordsman in the world, calmly withdraws his sword. I haven't seen you for several months. Mr. Mahak's swordsmanship has really become more and more refined. This time, I would like to thank you for your advice. I have learned something from my incompetent disciples. Weisung Kendo instructor Kushiro squinted and smiled. Clap 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 clap. All the students from Yuan Yixin Dojo, who were watching the battle, applauded and cheered in unison. Hawk-eyed Mahak still just nodded calmly and expressionlessly. Then he turned around and walked straight to Roland on the coast. Hawkeye boy, you are leaving too? Roland rode. Yes. Hawkeye nodded. Next time we meet, ask Lord Luolin for advice. Appeared on Mahak's grim face. There is a strong confidence in his eyes that are as sharp as swords. Yes, welcome anytime. Roland grinned. Then I'll take my leave. Hawkeye Mahak bowed and was about to leave. Hawkeye boy. Is there anything else? Hawkeye paused. Do you need me to send you a boat? Roland asked with a smile. Hawk-eyed Mahak was stunned for a moment, then shook his head subconsciously. No, I have it myself. Halfway through the words, Hawkeye was stunned again. He seemed to realize something. He quickly turned his head to look at the shore where he had parked his boat. Hey, Hawkeye, what are you still doing? Let's go. One person and one bag, the little fat man Readaloud, who took up most of the space of the coffin boat, waved and said hello. Ha ha ha, Hawkeye, this time I'll trouble you to take us for a ride. Don't worry, we'll get off at Carnival Town. Usopp laughed. Hawkeye. Disaster is about to begin again. The people who gathered for the big event are leaving one by one. Farewell ceremony of Weisung Coast is over. Wait, how long did Straw Hat Luffy and Long Nose Usopp feel sentimental about it before they were captured by the devil instructor Zephyr and started a hellish spiritual journey? The other side. Nami was excited to bring her sisters Nojiko and Makino to find other sisters to join. All the little girls made an appointment to explore the Sky Island scenic spot today. Then next, all rolling go. Just when Rollins was thinking about what to do next. Suddenly there was a girl's anxious cry from the sky. Nami, who had not left for a long time, came on the cloud with an eager look on her face. What's wrong, little girl Nami? Roland asked with a smile. Brother Rolling, something is wrong, Enel. That, the shop kid ran away with the going arc. Chapter 494 Feet Renew, for Golden Lion and Enel 2 quarters for subscription. Brother Luo Ling, something bad happened, Enel ran away with the going arc. Nami's terrified beautiful eyes widened, and she yelled anxiously. Well, the shock kid ran away. Roland raised his eyebrows unexpectedly. Yeah, Brother Rolling, when I was about to go to Sky Island with everyone just now, I found out that Enel was gone, and even the going ship with such a big boat was gone. Nami gestured with her hands, her eyes filled with tears, and she was about to cry in a hurry. Going arc worth more than 1 trillion. Wouldn't be in a hurry if they lost such a big going ship. Not to mention Nami who got into the eyes of money. For little girl Nami, that is life. I didn't expect that. The arrogant Enel would actually do such a thing. What should I do now? Nami's face was full of anxiety and distress, as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. Hee. Seeing that little girl Nami turned around, Luo Lin couldn't help but chuckle. He raised his big hand and landed on Nami's small head, holding it down. Don't worry, little girl Nami, leave it to me next, the electric shock boy can't escape. Roland grinned confidently. Isho. Wow. Listening to Roland's assurance, Nami's eyes suddenly lit up. The anxiety and heartache on the little face disappeared, and instead, joy and excitement emerged. Brother Rolling, thank you, you are so kind. Nami jumped 3 feet high with joy, wrapping her arms around Roland's neck. He fondly rubbed Luo Lin's profile, and then he took a sip. Hey, Hey, if you want to thank me, let's wait until I bring the ark back. Roland rode. Brother Luo Ling's words must be fine. Nami said confidently. And this is just a deposit. There will be more after the going ship is recovered. What more? Roland asked casually. Of course it's me. If it's not enough, there's Nojiko's sister, Vivi, Robin's sister. Everyone is waiting. Brother Luo Lin can do whatever he wants to us. Nami blinked playfully. Haha, this is really exciting. Then it's not too late, let's go. Roland laughed. Oh, can I go too? Why, don't you want to go? Roland asked. Going to go. Nami nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. You dare to steal our going boat, and when you catch up with that Enel, you must let him taste the power of Miss Ben. Nami waved her little pink fist angrily. Hee hee. Roland chuckled lightly. Let's go then. In the blink of an eye, Roland brought Nami to the sky. The right hand moves lightly. Vivre card the size of a baby's palm appeared in Roland's hand. A few months ago, the Sky Island incident. When Roland chose to use his own blood to conquer Enel, he had already anticipated this situation. His undead blood can indeed be easily and quickly surrendered, but it is not permanent. The effects of the blood reaction can wear off over time. The duration depends on the strength of the person. Months have passed since the Sky Island incident. It is indeed almost time. Not even just Enel. The same goes for Golden Lion Shiki. The day of the meeting. The Jedi venue crashes and falls. Roland propped up half the island with one hand and rescued the sailors at sea. Golden Lion Shiki has all the time to refloat the island shards with his fluttering fruit. But he didn't do it. In this regard, Luo Lin is not too concerned, care. It's not a big deal after all. He is alone, and he can solve it with a little more effort. But useful tools like Enel, Golden Lion. If you can stay, of course you have to stay as much as possible. After all, their abilities are really convenient. Originally, Luo Lin wanted to find a reason to discuss with them, and then give their tool people time to renew. Just because of the celebration banquet, I haven't found a chance in the past 2 days. Right now it's fine. Taking this opportunity, I can just give Enel a new wave. Vivre card left on the going arc also just works. Thinking of this, Roland couldn't help being kind to Isho. Then he took Nami and followed the direction pointed by Vivre card. After about half an hour, Roland took Nami to stand on an island cloud. Front. Within sight. A huge island above the clouds appeared in the sight of both Roland and Nami. Oh, found it, the Vivre card is pointing to. That island. Nami opened her mouth in surprise. Oh, it's true. Roland grinned Isho. This saves trouble, just right, the two of you will renew the fee together. ... Chapter 495 Paradise Island. A masterpiece by the Golden Lion. Open black lens bracket 3/4 close black lens bracket. At an altitude of about 7 kilometers above the ground, clouds cover the fog. A large island is quietly suspended in the sea of clouds. Against the backdrop of clouds and mists, it is like a fairy island in the sky, out of the world. I found it, the Vivre card is pointing right at that sky island, that Enel must be hiding on that island with our going boat. Nami spoke firmly. Silver teeth nod lightly, and the green jade fingers creaked, as if preparing for a big fight. Then go have a look. Roland grinned Isho and landed with Nami towards the sky island in the clouds. After about half a minute, Roland and Nami climbed to the edge of the island's height. It also happens to be the entrance to the island. Not far away, stands a striking gate made of marble. The plaque on the gate reads 3 big characters, Rolingo, Paradise Island, is this the kingdom of heaven? Nami's beautiful eyes widened in surprise, and she said innocently. Hee hee. Roland looked at her and smiled. Oh, no, how can there be such a thing as heaven in this world? just like the Sky Island time, it must be man-made. Nami shook her head, overturning her unrealistic assumptions. But how can there be a Sky Island here? Could it be that? Nami seemed to have guessed something, and her beautiful eyes gradually widened. Brother Luo Ling, is this the island of Lao Jin? Roland nodded. Probably yes, then let's explore the island before looking for the going ship. Nami nodded obediently. Under the control of Roland's gravity, Shimayan carried Roland and Nami and continued to rise. Moment to rise to a height high enough to overlook the whole island. As its name suggests, it is an island with a paradise-like view. The central area of Paradise Island is like spring all year round, which is the climate of Spring Island. In the other three directions of the island, each has an area representing summer, autumn and winter. Together, they form this special Paradise Island that coexists with 4 seasons. Wow! Luo Ling, this island is so magical. There is spring, here is summer, and the large red maple there represents autumn, and there it is. It snows. There are literally 444 seasons on one island at the same time. It's amazing. Little girl Nami's eyes were sparkling, and she jumped and jumped while holding Luo Lin's arm. It's like finding something incredible, so happy. In fact, the island is indeed an incredible treasure. After seeing the basic layout of the whole island, Luo Lin led Mei slowly towards the landing. Finally, it stopped at about 50 places above the ground and began to march around the island. The playground, it's an amusement park similar to the one over there in Sabayadi. Brother Luo Ling, look over there is even a water park. The sign over there says the expedition area. Everywhere along the way, little girl Nami's cries of surprise can be heard endlessly. The impact of the magical and interesting Paradise Island. For a time, Nami even forgot her original purpose. This island is so fun, I must bring Sister Robin, Vivi, and everyone to play together. Nami's pretty face was full of joy and excitement with a bright smile. Then let's all come together later. Roland smiled and touched Nami's little head. His eyes narrowed gradually, and after seeing this holiday island that gathers various elements, Luo Lin also recalled it. The preparation and construction of the various venues of the Budo tournament is exactly the task that Luo Lin entrusted to Golden Lion Shiki. The 10 unique venue islands in the first round of the conference, as well as the Jedi venue in the second round, are all from the hands of Golden Lion. In addition, Luo Lin also mentioned to Golden Lion that he wanted to build a top holiday island in the world. Also present at the time was the little lowly Going Zhou. After hearing about Luo Lin's idea, Going Zhou, an art painter, volunteered to help with the design work and left with Golden Lion. Then came the busy preparations for the big event. Roland forgot for a while that there was such a thing. Now that I see the semi-finished product, I finally remember it. Jia ha ha ha. At this moment, a reckless and loud laughter suddenly sounded from the island. A figure escaped the gravity and rose into the sky. Not Golden Lion Shiki, who can be, old Jin. Seeing the Golden Lion Shiki appearing, Nami's eyes lit up. Girl Nami, how can you be satisfied with this island? Golden Lion Shiki asked with a smile. I'm satisfied, this island is really great, I can't wait to bring everyone here. Nami said happily. Jia ha 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 ha, Nami girl. This horror will take a while, and the construction of various amusement facilities on the island is still in progress. Golden Lion Road. Alas. But if you come to visit and play, you can do it now. Golden Lion added. Really? The smile on Nami's face was bright again. After a while. Nami suddenly screamed. What's the matter, girl Nami? Almost forgot, Lao Jin. Did you see our going ship? Nami finally remembered her original purpose and asked anxiously. Going, Arc Proverbs, right here. Golden Lion Shiki grinned Isho and waved his hand sharply. Going treasure ship that shines infinitely in the sun rises into the sky. Our going ship has finally been found. Looking at the lost and found going arc, Nami's eyes instantly turned into the shape of money. The toes lightly tapped on the island cloud, the body became elemental, boarded the going ship, and began to check the condition of the hull. Watching the little girl Nami happily walk into the cabin, Roland and Golden Lion Shiki retracted their gazes at the same time and looked at each other. Shiki, let's talk. Okay, Roland, big brother. Chapter 496. Golden Lion's granddaughter. Lalakan Shiki. Open black lens bracket 4/4 close black lens bracket. Paradise Island, Central Manor. Boss brother. The little girl's pleasant cry of surprise sounded. A little Lolita with braided horns jumped out of the garden and jumped into Luo Lin's arms. As before, rubbing and acting like a spoiled child. Boss brother, you haven't come to see me for so long, I thought my brother had forgotten me. Little Lolita going Joe Buiyu spoke resentfully. Haha, I am sorry, Marianne, it's been really hard for you this time. Luo Lin hit haha, and touched the little lowly going Joe's head with a big hand soothingly. Result, the little resentment on the little lowly's face disappeared suddenly, and the only thing left was joy. 4. The little girls who like Luo Lin's head slaying is always so reassuring, it is simply the most wonderful feeling in the world. No matter how many times you will not get bored. The intimate interaction between Luo Lin and the little lowly going Joe Ruiwan. Golden Lion Shiki on the side couldn't help but pouted his lips with some taste. Okay, Marianne, go and play with Nami first. After a while, Luo Lin put the little lowly going Joe down. Is Nami here too? Little lowly going Joe was surprised. Marianne, I am here. Nami on the going arc waved. At the same time, make a thought. A white cloud was born out of thin air at the feet of going Joe, a little girl, and carried her into the sky. Roland withdrew his gaze on the two little girls and turned to Shiki, his eyes narrowed. What's the matter, Shiki, you didn't show such an expression before. Roland grinned. It's different now. Shiki is also grinning Isho. Where is the difference? I really want to thank this mission, otherwise, how would I recognize such a lovely goddaughter? Speaking of which, Golden Lion Shiki's old sleep brought a satisfied smile from his heart. Daughter Marianne? Roland asked in surprise, his eyes narrowed a little. Yeah, can't you? Shiki's mouth twitched slightly and said proudly. As long as Marianne wants to, of course I don't have any opinion, I just didn't expect a guy like you, Shiki, to want relatives one day. Roland couldn't help but be amazed. After all, in front of him is the legendary flying pirate, Golden Lion Shiki. One of the scariest people in the sea in the last era. For a hero like Golden Lion Shiki, his family is something he doesn't have. Is a rare thing to even think of recognizing a granddaughter now. That guy in Whitebeard has taken a boatload of godsons, and I have a goddaughter. Why, Marianne is so cute and well-behaved, who doesn't like it? The Golden Lion takes it for granted. Line. Roland nodded, and immediately narrowed his eyes. What are you looking at? One last question, don't try to lie, you can't lie to me. Ask. Shiki, you won't be a lolicon, you want to smelt copper. Roland asked solemnly. The president of Little Lowly Going Joe, Luo Lin can be regarded as her guardian for the time being. Of course, to ensure her safety and eliminate all hidden dangers. If Shiki, the old guy, is really wicked, what does he think of Little Lowly Going Joe? Then Luo Lin can only give up this useful tool. You can't make Little Lowly Going Joe be wronged, isn't it? Hearing Roland's last threatening question, Shiki's old face suddenly became cloudy. The 2 rows of teeth were even more creaky in anger. You bastard, how can this kind of thing be possible? I really just treat Marianne as my granddaughter. Shiki yelled. In the end, compared to me, you are the real lolicon, Vivi girl, Nami girl, and other girls, they are not even a few years older than Marianne, rounding up, it is exactly Lowly, that's all, you still have the face to talk about me. Golden Lion Shiki launched a sharp counterattack. Roland. Come on, let's go and see the shock boy first. Luo Lin was serious, and took the lead. Don't change the subject, you bastard, I really got it right. Shiki squeaked proudly. Clap, ouch. Shiki put his head in his hands and let out a pained cry, but there was still no restraint on his mouth. Roland bastard, you must have turned into anger from embarrassment, Gia ha ha ha. Bang. Chapter 497 People are tough. The strong disguise of the Golden Lion. Open black lens bracket 1/4 close black lens bracket. Paradise Island Central Estate. Hot Spring Villa Annex. A small spa cubicle for a single person. 4 chains made of seastone material bound Enel's hands and feet, causing most of his body to sink into the hot spring pool, leaving only one head to breathe. Under the double suppression of the seastone chain and the hot spring water, Enel's Guro Guro no Mi, Rumble Rumble Fruit ability cannot be used at all. In fact, even without this double oppression, at this moment, Enel no longer has the ability to escape. Yesterday, during the encounter with Golden Lion Shiki, against the old and hot flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki, Enel has no chance of winning even if he has the unparalleled Guro Guro no Mi, Rumble Rumble Fruit ability. Wounded by Shiki's hockey and slash. Ferocious wounds caused by slashing can be seen everywhere on the surface of the body. The hot spring pool was dyed a bloody color. Gia ha 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 ha, the young people are getting more and more incredible recently, even the old man took a full 10 minutes to take down this thunderboy. Golden Lion Shiki is not without boasting. 10 minutes. Roland frowned slightly. Half an hour, half an hour. Golden Lion Shiki reworded. Half an hour. Roland raised his eyebrows again. An hour at most. Golden Lion gritted his teeth. Death, he would not admit to the fact that he had fought back and forth with this junior Enel for half a day, and finally almost let him run away. Hee hee. Roland hee hee isho, the corner of his mouth raised a slight arc. People are tough. He also did not try to dismantle the last strong disguise of the old lion. Tick-tock, the tick-tock of the dripping water sounded. That was the sound of the crystal blood oozing from Luo Lin's fingertip wound dripping into the hot spring pool. When the undead blood in Roland's body mixes with the water in the pool. In an instant, a series of unspeakable and wonderful changes took place. Originally stained with Enel's own blood, the water suddenly became misty. Then it turned into a blood diamond-like color. After a while, one suddenly appeared in the hot spring pool. At the center of the whirlpool is the severely wounded Enel. The blood-colored light and shadow in the pool gradually contracted toward the center of the vortex. And he was completely submerged into Enel's body and repaired his broken body. The pool water, which was originally soaked with blood, became clear at a speed visible to the naked eye. Same. The crisscrossing slash wounds on Enel's body also healed and recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. Pale skin due to excessive blood loss also restores some blood. Witnessed this amazing scene with my own eyes. Rao, the well-informed Golden Lion Shiki, can't help but be amazed. In his mind unconsciously, he recalled the experience of his reunion with Luo Lin. When he stepped into the death line with half of his foot, Roland also used this method to grab him back from the god of death. He even cured the headache that had plagued him for more than 20 years. The rudder, which had suppressed half of his strength, was stripped from his head, so that he would never have to suffer from the pain of shattering skulls again. This method is enough to be called a miracle. His blood. His body. Truly the most amazing creature in this world. No wonder even the world government couldn't hold back its impulse. However, Luo Lin's blood has all kinds of benefits, even if it can really prolong life. Golden Lion Shiki, who has already experienced it once, does not want to come again. Of this, blood is really too big. Thinking of his dignified flying pirates, He was chasing people as a younger brother at the beginning. He even called a little girl and sister-in-law who could be his granddaughter. Ruined. When Golden Lion Shiki secretly sighed, Enel's closed eyes moved in the hot spring pool, and then slowly opened. Ka 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 ka. Roland flicked his fingers. With face sheet and finger pistol, he easily broke the 4 strong chains doped with sea stone that bound his hands and feet. Enel, who had not recovered, immediately sank into the pool, and then struggled violently to get up. Under the stimulation of icy cool water, his brain, which was nearly shut down, finally regained consciousness. A glance at it. When he noticed the Golden Lion Shiki in the room, Enel's brows rose and his whole body tense again. However, when I saw another person standing by the pool, when he saw his god Roland, the fierce aura that Enel had just mentioned was instantly poured out. Slowly squat down and kneel on one knee in the water. I am very sorry, Lord Shen Luolan. My subordinates have failed God's expectations and let the thieves destroy the prison. I really have no face to meet Lord Shen Luolan. I can only exile myself to apologize. Under the miracle, the subordinates are truly ashamed. Enel said with a sad face. Jia ha ha ha. Hearing Enel's remarks, Shiki on the shore was instantly amused. What are you laughing at? Roland glanced at Shiki. Nothing, nothing. Shiki waved his hand. I thought that this kind of naive rhetoric has long been outdated. I used it when I was 6 years old when I was caught cheating and cheating. However, in the next second, something that made the Golden Lion Shiki dumbfounded. Chapter 498 Golden Lion. Emma, really fragrant open black lens bracket 2/4 for full order close black lens bracket. You just let him go like this, and it's over without any punishment. Golden Lion Shiki widened his old eyes and asked incredulously. If it was him, treat deserters. Especially the traitor, who escaped with his treasures, will never be careless. To mention that it was for his wounds, he would be merciful if he didn't torture his life rather than death. However, at the moment, Roland let him go so easily. Is he a saint? No no no. Golden Lion Shiki shook his head repeatedly, denying his ridiculous idea. If Roland was a saint, he would be a ghost. It was decades ago or now, this guy is a god-killing existence. Countless pirates died in his hands, enough to pile up a mountain. How could such an embryo kill be a saint? Not just Golden Lion Shiki. When I heard Luo Lin's handling of such a light-hearted way, Enel, who was ready to accept the severest punishment from God, was stunned. Hee hee. Roland chuckled and shook his head, ignoring it and turning away. Enel was originally a tool man controlled by Roland with his own divine blood. When the tool man's time is up and he wants to escape, he will continue. You can't do it with grace and power like others. Subdue your subordinates. Furthermore, Roland, who has the mind-reading observation hockey, knows that Enel's previous self-imposed exile was not a lie. Enel's tool man time doesn't seem to come. This probably has something to do with his beliefs. Why Luo Lin wanted to try, what will happen to Enel after feeling God's kindness? It may be possible to extend the tool man's time to perpetuity. If so, it would save a lot of trouble. Either way, whether it's a prison riot or Enel's guilty self-imposed exile, in Roland's view, it's just a trivial matter. Hello, Roland. The cry of Golden Lion Shiki came from behind. What kind of ecstasy did you guys give that kid? That kid is thanking you right now. It's unusual, it's really unusual. Even the effect of your blood isn't so terrifying, right? Golden Lion Shiki caught up with Roland, thinking of Enel who shouted the name of God as if possessed. The old face was full of wonder. Hee hee. 4. Golden Lion Shiki's doubts. Roland still just isho. Aren't you going to punish that kid? For that? Golden Lion wondered. It's not. Roland shook his head. Why is that? There is always some reward for an honest child. Honest? Hey, Hey, you won't believe excuses, will you? There's nothing you can't believe. You think everyone is just like you, and you've been kidnapped. Roland grinned. Gah. The expression on Golden Lion Shaki's face froze. Almost forgot, this guy can read minds, I%. Shaki, how about you? Luo Lin opened his mouth abruptly, with a subtle arc at the corner of his mouth. What's wrong with me? Shaki was stunned, and asked back in confusion. After fighting with the shock boy for so long yesterday, his ability to sound thunder should be hard. Roland smiled. Are you kidding me? Who is Lao Su? I'm the Golden Lion Shaki, the flying pirate. He's just a kid, what can I do? Golden Lion is tough. Is it? Roland's right hand was lightning fast and slapped on Shaki's body. Scoff. The shirt on Shaki's upper body shattered in an instant, revealing his charred body underneath. Tisk tisk tisk, this is really serious, do you need me to treat it for you? Roland said kindly. Bastard, don't even think about it, I will never call you big brother again in my life. Golden Lion Shaki sternly refused, raised his hand to cover the bear's mouth like a lost little girl, and looked at Luo Lin with a face of embarrassment. Looking at Golden Lion's hot eyes, even Luo Lin shuddered. Golden Lion ignored Roland's expression of disgust. Eyeballs rolled. Golden Lion seemed to have thought of something, the corners of his mouth grinned, and a treacherous smile appeared on the old face. Roland, what do you think of Marianne? Golden Lion suddenly asked. Marianne, as my member, is of course an excellent child. Roland responded subconsciously. Why are you asking this? Gia ha ha ha, when Marianne was here, she was always talking about you, the president, brother. Since you also think that girl is good, then in a few years, when Marianne is older, I will take that girl. Marry you. Gia ha ha ha. Golden Lion Shaki laughed. Roland. After a while. Rollins responded. Even if he didn't need to read minds, he was fully aware of the meaning of the old lion's words. Marrying a granddaughter is fake. This is to change the law to take advantage of him. Old Lion, I think you really need to clean up. Roland narrowed his eyes, his palms and fingers rattled. Gia ha 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 ha, you hit me. Golden Lion Shaki circled in the air proudly. Good. Rollins responded. Punch out. Golden Lion Shaki's left eye was instantly black. Fuck, you're really fighting. I'm not welcome. Golden Lion said angrily. Come on. Rollins showed no signs of weakness. Bang bang bang, wait, you go back to the fight, don't let the water go, my attack can't break your defense, and be careful, don't splash blood on me. Golden Lion was wary. Life and death confrontation, how can you manage so much, come again. Roland's bloody palm prints on the wound on Golden Lion's body. Golden Lion cursed out loud. But only a moment later. Gia ha 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 ha, big brother, your healing ability is really fragrant. If I get hurt again in the future, I'll have to ask you. Golden Lion Shaki changed his previous tough attitude. Completely forgetting the oath he made, a big brother shouted. Hee hee, Cheng, brother Shaki. Roland grinned Isho, put away the tape. Chapter 499 The 100 Beasts and the Big Mom. Battle, open black lens bracket 3/4 for full order close black lens bracket. On special clouds like cotton candy. One big and one small, Nami and Going, the little girl, were lying on top of the clouds. With his hands on his chin, he looked with interest at the constantly staggered figures in the sky not far away. President brother and Shaki grandpa, what are you doing? Little lowly Going tilted her head in confusion on Monday. Well, it's probably just a joke, they are still very close. The little girl Nami said with a smile. Well, I thought something had happened before, but it turned out to be a joke. It's really not worrying at all. Little Lolita Going Joe shook her head helplessly. Don't worry about them, little Marianne, tell me about this island in detail, and bring everyone over to play next time. Nami's eyes lit up and she said excitedly. Chang. Here, the little loli and the little girl have reached an agreement. The other side. 4. Little brother Golden Lion Shaki's request, Luo Lin also complied with his mouth without any hesitation. Seeing Luo Lin readily accept it, a moved look appeared on the old face of Golden Lion Shaki. Brother, I actually prepared a gift for you. Golden Lion Shaki looks like an invitation. What a gift? Roland asked. Just up there, let's go and have a look together, Jia ha 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 ha. Golden Lion Shaki laughed and took the lead in the sky. It's up there. Roland's eyes narrowed at Vivi, and observation hockey spread out in an instant. Only then did I discover that in the sea of clouds 3 kilometers above, there was another island about the size of Paradise Island. The people who exist on that island are the tattered and tattered beast Dragon Kingship, and the bells and whistles of the mothership Wang Mama Him stand in the center of the island more than 100 meters apart. The 4 Emperors and 100 Beasts pirates live opposite the 4 Emperors pirates, with a clear distinction. At this moment. Mr. Queen, what time is it? It's a shame you can drink tea so leisurely. Peggy Wan, one of the 6 sons of 100 Beasts volleying the sky, looked at the Queen of the Epidemic speechlessly. First, it's not tea, it's red bean soup. Second, even if you look at me like this, I won't give it to you. Third, I have no choice but to eat. No chance to eat it without permission. Queen of Plagues is leisurely and leisurely. Enjoy the delicious food with a smile on your face. My stupid brother, don't worry about that idiot queen, Body, the old sister is going hunting. The poisonous-tongued sister Yuluti is still in high spirits without being trapped. I'm your brother, not your mount, you stupid old lady. Hearing Yuluti's rude request, Peggy Wan suddenly burst out. You don't even listen to your sister's words, you stupid brother. Yuluti stretched out her long legs. Kicked Peggy Wan to the ground, followed by a throat lock, and the locked Peggy Wan rolled his eyes. All right, Lulujong, don't make trouble for the 2 of you. The giant beauty Black Maria of the 6 sons persuaded. But it's of little use. There. A line of fire flashed across the sky. With the sound of dong, the toothless pterodactyl flame ember landed. Mr. Jin, you are back. Black Maria was surprised. Yuluti and Pejuan's siblings quarreled with each other and then paused. How's the exploration work? Did you get any useful information? Queen of the Epidemic is arrogant. This is 10,000 meters in the sky. Blazing Embers calmly spoke. Nani? 10,000 meters in the sky. That guy Golden Lion Shaki got us here. I really can't get out now. I am completely trapped. Except, Mr. Kaido, like us, if we fall down, we are absolutely dead. The cadres of 100 Beasts were shocked. Do we really have to work with that? Golden Lion. Peggy Wan's eyes widened. The flying pirate Golden Lion Shaki, what he wants is not just cooperation, he clearly wants to take the opportunity to incorporate and dominate us. Phosphord said. And I always feel like there's something wrong with that. Golden Lion Shaki. Fishman Sasaki frowned. Mr. Jin, since you can go out, it means that the Golden Lion does not restrict people with flight ability from escaping, or you should go back to Wano-kuni to stabilize the situation. Black Maria suggested. Yeah, Mr. Jin, Kurozumi Orochi Wolf ambition, if he knew that Captain Kaido was dead, he would definitely take the opportunity to annex our territory. Peggy Wan frowned. He doesn't even dare to think about who helped him get to where he is now. Without our beasts, he would be almost finished. Yuluti said bitterly. That's not necessarily true. Fursford's quiet road. What do you mean? Yuluti squinted. Although Kaido is no longer there, the dragon is still on this sea. The traitor Blackbeard teach on the Whitebeard ship is the real wolf's ambition. Maybe he has already gone to Wano-kuni now, not necessarily. Phosphord sneered. Wow. With the words of Phosphord fell. The cadres of the beasts in the room all shouted angrily. Hey, bastards of the beasts, I have endured you for a long time. It's so noisy. Can't you be as quiet as humans? When mother wakes up, I will have your good fruit to eat. The noise and uproar of the beasts also aroused the dissatisfaction of the thieves' cadres and ministers on the other side. A war of words started immediately, in full swing. Chapter 500 Golden Lion Shaki is the hero's younger brother. Open black lens bracket 4/4 for full order close black lens bracket. Wow. Blackbeard teach, he dares. Stealing Captain Kaido's dragon power is not enough, and he even wants to invade the base camp of our beasts. Is he really bold enough to pick the peaches of our beasts halfway? I want to eat the foundation of our beasts for more than 20 years, and I don't think about whether his appetite is big enough. When hearing the speculations and conjectures put forward by Phosphord, the cadres of the beasts who gathered in the field for a meeting to discuss immediately fry the pot together. Although their mouths are tough and they underestimate the black beards, this is the manifestation of their guilty conscience. Because they know that the possible event that Phosphord said is very likely to happen. Wolf Ambition, the black beard, may be on his way to Wano Kuni now, ready to use the dragon power he stole to deceive and gain the trust of their beasts left behind. The worst-case scenario is Blackbeard and Kurozumi Orochi, two like-minded people, reach a new cooperation agreement. At that time, the foundation that they have worked hard for more than 20 years of beasts will really be subverted, and they will only be other people's wedding dresses. Even if they can rush back, they are powerless. That is the real doomsday for their beast pirates. Think here. The vicious aura of the beasts spread out. The loud uproar shook the 4 fields. The noise and shouting from the beasts naturally disturbed the crowd of thieves more than 100 meters away. That group of uneducated beasts are so noisy that mother can't rest in peace. Cabin, the long-legged paddling General Star Smoothie, who is still in a coma, raised his eyebrows in anger. The bastards of the beasts, shut up for Lao Su. Perospero stood on the bow of the mothership, roaring loudly. What did you say about the ants family? Why did you order us? The mouth grows on us, can you control it and what's in your way? That's right, we make trouble how we like to make trouble. The cadres of the beasts who were indignant because of Blackbeard Teach were worried that they could not find a vent. Of Perospero just set a target for them. Hearing the taunts of the beast pirates, Perospero's face suddenly gloomy as if water was about to drip. Seeing that their eldest brother suffered, Daifuku, Oven, Montdor and other ant ministers also stood up one after another, glaring at the beasts. You bunch of beasts need to know who you can still rely on barking here now. If it weren't for our mother still, how could Golden Lion Shaki be so polite to discuss with us? Oven and Daifuku shouted loudly. Stop putting gold on your face, idiots. Which is stronger or weaker? Why don't you try it now? The beasts in the crowd show no signs of weakness. Of course, this also means knowing that the 4 emperors Charlotte Linlin is still seriously injured and in a coma. If the other party really wakes up, bastards of the beasts, keep arguing, it's better to wake up our mother, then we also want to thank you, just wait for what will happen after the mother wakes up. I don't know. Charlotte Montdor sneered, after all, it's the ant who specializes in text information. Charlotte Montdor said this. Opposite side, the Beast Zoo and team headed by Queen suddenly became quiet. Mr. Queen, do you want to take this opportunity to take them down first, or wait for that monster ant to really come back to life, then we, LL. A real suggestion. Don't wait for him to finish. Queen's big fan-like palm slammed it into the ground. Idiot, gentlemen talk and don't do anything, just scold each other, don't do it. The Queen rolled her eyes. 100 Beasts Zoo and team. Is it possible that we can still be associated with the word gentleman? Gia ha ha ha. Just when the scene was stalemate. There was a loud laugh in the distance. Listening to the familiar arrogant laughter, the officials of 100 Beasts and Ant have solemn expressions on their faces. Immediately cast aside the quarrel of the previous war of words, form a united front, and face the threat in the sky together. And vigilant gaze of thousands of beasts and antis, a golden shadow crossed the sky and appeared in front of everyone. Jia ha 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 ha, I heard your noises from afar, it seems that you are in good spirits, that's good. Golden Lion Shiki stood in the sky, looking down at the allied army of beasts and antis below. Golden Lion Shiki. Shiki, what the hell are you trying to do? Put us down. The beasts and ants who stood on the united front aimed their spirit Shiki in the sky. Jia ha 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 ha, even if Lao Su is a legendary pirate, don't be so excited. Besides, today is not. I'm here to discuss with you. Golden Lion Shiki laughed. Not you. Epidemic Queen, Parosparrow and others were all stunned. Next second, the Golden Lion Shiki looked up at the higher sky. Brother, this is the gift I prepared for you, but I'm still satisfied. Golden Lion Shiki exclaimed proudly. Big brother. Golden Lion Shiki's big brother. The flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki has a big brother. The doubts and shocks in the hearts of the cadres of 100 beasts and anti became even worse. Driven by curiosity, everyone in the room raised their heads and followed Golden Lion's line of sight. Dazzling sunlight made them unconsciously narrow their eyes. Figure stepped down from the sky and finally appeared in the sight of everyone in the allied army of beasts and Big Mom. Lying, trough. ...